a kid from the tough streets of Philadelphia who ended up living in a mansion in Bel Air. The Fresh Prince who uniquely conquered the world, making a name for himself in TV, cinema, and music. Today's Hero's Journey episode spotlights one of Hollywood's greatest legends ever, the charismatic Will Smith. Raised in a rough neighborhood in Philly, Will was brought up by hardworking and strict parents. Caroline and Willard clocked in long hours every day to provide for their 4 kids. His mom was a school administrator, and his dad was a refrigeration engineer. Growing up in such an environment, Will was no stranger to the harsh realities of violence. From a young age, Will knew he didn't want a life surrounded by gunshots, drugs, and crime. This strong desire shaped him into a determined and dream-chasing young man. But first, he had to face his father's formidable temperament. Will has confessed that his father was both a figure of admiration and fear for him. As a child, he developed the ability to tell funny stories as a defense mechanism against the fear he felt towards his authoritarian and sometimes violent father. Making his family laugh with his jokes, he shifted the energy from conflict to joy. So, from early on, his first instinct was always to transform reality into something better, so the truth wouldn't hurt as much. In this father-son relationship, there was a mix of idolization and extreme obedience. Will admits that his father's high expectations inadvertently fostered in him an unconscious desire to be recognized as a good son, which pushed him to set higher standards for himself. Therefore, from a very young age, he worked hard and chased after success. His first triumphs came in the music field. Starting at 12, he ventured into singing and dancing in both hip-hop and rap. Yes, Will Smith started his brilliant artistic career in music. He became famous as the Fresh Prince, collaborating with DJ Jazzy Jeff and even getting mentioned by rap star Eminem in one of his hit songs. His songs were known for their humor and lively performances. Not many people know this, but in the music industry, he's won 4 Grammy Awards and released 11 albums in his career. But you know the saying, what comes up fast can go down just as quickly. The celebrated Prince of Rap was dazzled by his quick-earned wealth, spending all he earned on clothes, parties, and travels. He even racked up debts during this period, almost leading him to bankruptcy. Facing this financial crisis was crucial for him to learn valuable lessons about responsibility and financial management. These tough experiences early in his journey helped him become a more mature entrepreneur. For instance, when he opened his own film production company, Embark Entertainment, and made savvy deals in technology and fashion. As a young man in 1990, at 22, with his popularity gradually growing in the U.S., Will encountered an opportunity that could broaden his horizons. He was invited to star in the TV series The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. This was a milestone in his artistic career. During the show, Will captured attention with his funny and emotional performances, building a fan base over the 6 seasons of the series. His natural and charismatic acting quickly won over the American audience from the first episodes, marking his definitive career transition to Hollywood. Will showed remarkable versatility and quickly learned the art of acting on set. Imagine if he hadn't taken that role? We'd miss out on our favorite Fresh Prince. But there's nothing better than practice for learning anything, right? And in his case, it was the perfect combination of innate talent and a determined personality. Despite his apparent acting skills, Will states in interviews that he doesn't consider himself very talented and believes his greatest achievements are due to his hard and consistent work over the decades. This evolution was proven when Will Smith challenged himself and stepped out of his comfort zone to take on new film genres and different roles. But don't be fooled, he also had to overcome some challenging battles to earn his well-deserved spotlight. Back then, Will faced racism in the film industry as he was dissatisfied with being cast only in superficial and rogue roles at the start of his career. Young black men are almost always portrayed as criminals, gunmen, or comedians. Some of his most memorable performances during that period were in films like Bad Boys, Independence Day, and Men in Black. Over the years, and improving with each new film, Will fought against these stereotypes and stopped playing only light and comedic characters, taking on memorable roles and profound protagonists like Chris Gardner in The Pursuit of Happiness and Ben Thomas in 7 Pounds. His professional achievements opened doors for other black actors who followed, such as Jamie Foxx and later Michael B. Jordan. Besides being an excellent actor, Will also ventured into screenwriting and producing films in Hollywood, which helped him secure his spot in the cinema even more. In his personal life, Smith married fellow actress Jada Pinkett Smith in 1997. You know the famous saying, "Behind every great man, there's a great woman." In this case, it's true, and their marriage was a boost for both of their careers. Their union is marked by a relationship of companionship, loyalty, and mutual growth. An example of their beautiful partnership is that they both worked together in the film Ali, where Will portrayed the iconic boxer Muhammad Ali, and Jada played Ali's first wife. Will and Jada have 2 children, Jaden and Willow. The couple has also publicly announced that they have explored other forms of relationship based on non-monogamy. Since 2016, Will has dedicated himself more deeply to his process of self-knowledge and spiritual search. Inside his mansion in Los Angeles, he has a studio for daily yoga practice and is also where he meditates in the morning and practices breathing exercises to maintain his mental peace at work. On his social media, he openly shares reflections on the challenges of balancing his family life with his career and how his marriage and fatherhood have shaped his character and priorities. In 2021, he released his autobiography, detailing his life journey, which quickly became a bestseller in the U.S. Besides his successful career, Will Smith also dedicates himself to various social and humanitarian causes. He and his family are involved in numerous charity initiatives, supporting education programs, funding housing for the homeless, and, together with Jada, devising projects to bring clean water to needy communities in Ghana, Africa. More recently, at the 2022 Oscar ceremony, Will Smith starred in one of the most unforgettable moments in the award show's history. And curiously, it wasn't for his work. Well, actually, it was also. Let me explain what happened. During the ceremony, Chris Rock, who was hosting the event, made a distasteful comment about Jada Pinkett Smith's baldness. In case you didn't know, she was suffering from alopecia, an autoimmune disease associated with hair or body hair loss. This tasteless joke showed a weak point in our hero. After hearing the comment made live by Chris Rock, Will lost his emotional control and had a disproportionate reaction. He simply got up from the audience, walked up to the stage, towards the host, and to the surprise of the viewers and everyone present at the ceremony, Will Smith delivered a slap, the kind of full-handed slap that knocks anyone down, you know? The scene was so cinematic that to this day, some internet users still argue that it was all a grand Hollywood-style act. What do you think? Was that iconic scene rehearsed or spontaneous? Well, it seems that Will Smith's slap was so real that, unfortunately, it overshadowed his unprecedented award that same night. In a good plot twist, the actor, minutes later, was called on stage to receive the coveted Best Actor statuette in 2022, thanks to his performance in the film King Richard, which tells the victorious journey of the Williams sisters in tennis history. Will even tried to redeem himself during his moving speech, apologizing to everyone while crying for acting impulsively and assaulting a colleague. This story couldn't end without an emotional finale, right? Since then, Will has taken a more distant stance on social media, and in one of his recent posts, he again apologized to the public and to Chris Rock for the slap. But rumors have it that Chris has not accepted the apology and refused to talk to Will after the incident. For cinema fans, it's worth remembering that Will Smith's latest starring film was Emancipation, where he was acclaimed by critics as one of his best performances. Now tell me, what did you like most about Will Smith's hero's journey? And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay tuned for our next episodes. See you soon.